Well then people, it's Joe, or Leeds TV, and it's your pre-Sheffield Wednesday chat. Exciting times, we've got Friday to look forward to. I hope you're all over, you know, the shithousery that went on Saturday, poor performance. Although we dominated, you know, stages of the game, they just weren't at the races. But yeah, that's done now, been and gone. We had our first loss, probably needed it, both for us and for the players. You know, sometimes you can get a bit carried away, but it is what it is, lost. So, as you can see, changed, got myself a little table, a few pictures and that, even got myself a cup there, making it a little bit more homely. My flag's en route as well, so that'll be going up behind me soon enough. So yeah, anyway, enough about that. Let's get on to Sheffield Wednesday then. Big game, it's going to be a massive game. There's a lot of history between the two clubs, a lot of rivalry. And I know it's a game that a lot of fans look out for when planning their away days. And I think there's even more spice added to it because it's a Friday night and what happened the last Friday game that we had. You know, you had the lad running on the pitch and smashing Kirkland. You had David Jones' comments after the game where he called us vile animals, which I think, to be honest, we love. I'm not going to lie, like, we call ourselves where Leeds with vile animals and all that jazz. Not saying that we are, it's just more, you know, tongue-in-cheek. It's a bit like the We All Hate Leeds scum chanting it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You're only jealous because you're not Leeds. That's everyone's feelings. Anyway, so yeah, moving on. I've just took some snippets out from the press conference really and what I think for the game ahead. I'm not going to sit here and wax lyrical about Sheffield Wednesday, you know, I'll let the rest of the lads do that. I've not seen enough of them, to be honest. They've had an okay start, they had a great result down at Villa. I'm sure you will have all seen McGinn's goal for Aston Villa, what a screamer. But yeah, they got a result there. They've got an ageing team for me, you know. They've got bloody Stephen Fletcher up front, for God's sake. I would be confident that Cooper and Janssen would be able to deal with him. I think he's nowhere near as mobile as, say, like a Che Adams or anything like that, do you know what I mean, or a Sombalonga. So for that matter, I think we'll deal with Fletcher. And early doors, I'm thinking a tight game, maybe 2-1 Leeds. I see us getting all 3 points. And the reason I see that is, I think for me, like, getting that loss, the fact that we were knocked out of the Carabao Cup, which for me has done wonders, especially based on the fact that we just lost a game. Because what it's give Bielsa is more or less a full week to get the guys right, and it's come out, you know, he's had them in twice a day. On some days, just a bit of an inquest really. I think his comments were, you know, they were asking questions where it went wrong, and they did that as a collective. I don't know if any of you have seen the Man City documentary on Amazon. If you haven't, give it a watch because it's great to watch. I imagine a lot of what goes on there is what's going on at Leeds. It'll be a similar sort of ethos, you know, and I mean, even Mendy tweeting out about us after we battered Preston sort of says that for me. We're in a similar sort of not level obviously, but you just know that the way that Guardiola's going about his business is going to be very much like Bielsa. And I do think they would have had him in. They'll have dissected the game, had a bit of an inquest, what went wrong. And I think they'll be absolutely drilled, and come Friday we could see another mint away performance a la Derby, a la Norwich. Fingers crossed anyway. But yeah, you know, Bielsa came out and said we did enough against Birmingham. I think the possession tells you that, just the final balls and everything was lacking. It was a bit of a shit show really, and really disappointing to lose in the way that we did. I think if Dallas scores, we probably could have, let's say we deserved a point really. But enough of that anyway, moving on. I think questions were posed to Bielsa, you know, about a poor run setting in, if we compare it to last year. And I think he sort of batted the question away as if to say, listen, that was then, you can't make comparisons now. And the reason for me that you can't make comparisons, and a lot of these fans, you know, as I said before, I've seen Borough Fan TV put out a picture of a coach and the wheels falling off just because we'd lost one game. I think what everyone needs to realise is we've got Marcelo Bielsa at the helm. Them sort of runs ain't going to happen. And there was a press conference done by Alioski not long after Bielsa where he said he's 100% confident that they wouldn't go on a losing run. And I am too. I genuinely feel that Bielsa is a coach that's not going to happen. Yeah, we will have tough games. But look, even Wolves last year lost around 9, I think it was. And still went up comfortably. Yeah, I think there's no worries of that. If we lose at Sheffield Wednesday, which we could, right, I genuinely feel there will be uproar. Like, the fans will be crazy. The opposing fans of every championship club will be the same. But I tell you now, we will not go on a losing run, yeah? That's fingers crossed. I mean, I said after we did the Football Republic documentary, I said I can't see us getting beat. Next game we get beat. Hopefully I'm not a jinx. But yeah, I just 100% confident that we wouldn't go on a losing run of 3, 4, 5 games like we did last season, you know? I just can't see it happening with Bielsa at the helm. Injury update as well. There was a lot of that done in the press conference. Obviously, Bamford and Izzy Brown are a long way off. I think Bamford's due January. The fact that he's put him in the same sentence context as Bamford, are we saying the same for Izzy Brown? We were told October. It's almost October. It's the 6th next week when we play Brentford at home. That tells me he's not ready, because he goes on to say Roof, Berardi and Hernandez are close but not fit for this game. The next game, you know, we've got Hull and Brentford. So is Izzy Brown longer, you know, further away than what we first anticipated? I hope not, because I think Saiz is going to need, for me, like on Saturday, if we had a ready-made replacement for Saiz, I would have replaced him, because it just wasn't working out that day. He had a good game, don't get me wrong, he runs his socks off, but we just need an additional player to sort of carry that burden that he has at the minute, especially with Hernandez out. You know, it's just compounded how much. Yes, look, at the end of the day, if we beat Sheffield Wednesday, we go to Hull, we get a result. Looking at the games that we've been out without Roof, you know, Hernandez, and to still be in the top end of the league is great. Do you know what I mean? Because these are pivotal players. You know, last year, if these sort of players are lost from the team, we go even further. Do you know what I mean? He does also go on to mention Shaughnessy, but who cares? He did as well. He said there's going to be no changes, which surprises me, because for me, I would change Alioski. Have we got a ready-made replacement? No, I think the Ramblings made a good point in saying, do we bring Pearce on at left-back and push Douglas up on the left wing? Maybe that could be a possibility. But he's come out and said there's no changes. So does that mean we're going to say Phillips in the same sort of role as he's adopted all season? So we're going to go with the same sort of formation. For me, he's saying that it gives Sheffield Wednesday to have a look at how Birmingham approach the game and do a similar sort of thing. As I say, Bielsa has one way and one way only. There is only plan A, and people might get wise to that. And him coming out and saying there's going to be no changes, it's basically saying I'm going to set up exactly the same against as I did against Birmingham. If Sheffield Wednesday adopt the same tactics, do we find ourselves in the same position? I'm not questioning Bielsa, because in with Bielsa we trust, but was it a bit naive to say that? I'm not so sure. And what's come to light as well, obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Phillips' position. The one, you know, when he says he wants 2 in every position, for me, we don't have a ready-made replacement for Phillips. When he talks about Forshaw, who he said, to be fair, was the best player in the team before he got injured, so he's obviously a massive fan. He got brought off in the under-23s during the week, so that made me start to think, right, okay, is he going to play in place of Phillips, possibly give Phillips a rest? But the way he talks is Click and Forshaw are one and the same. He can do exactly the same job. So maybe we might see Forshaw but in the Click role, because since the international break he hasn't been the best. He had opportunities that especially against Preston, that earlier on in the season he smashes. So maybe he needs a little rest. and we bring Forshaw in there. But we don't have a ready-made replacement for Phillips. The only way we replace Phillips in the team is by changing the formation to the 3-1-3, by having a back three, and then obviously Dallas and Douglas. You bring Dallas into the side. So for me, that's a point we need to look at. Obviously, come January, you know, I've listened to a few podcasts. I listened to Talking Short. I listened to Ryan, the Pigeon Detectives one. Sorry, I forget the name, guys. And when they were asking like Coulson Smith about position, you know, where do you want to invest? And people say goal scorer. Well, we've got goal scorers now. We've got goal scorers. We've got Bamford. We've got Roof. We've got Roberts. We don't need a goal scorer for me. Okay. Coulson Smith said an attacking midfielder, not needed. We have Izzy Brown and Saiz. Even Hernandez can play in that role. For me, where we need to be strengthening is a replacement for Alioski, a starting 11 replacement, which is going to cost a few million. If we'd have got Jefferson from Derby, that would have been a great replacement. Like, he's been class when playing at Derby. He would have been ideal. So they're the sort of players that are going to cost a couple of mil. So for me, you need a first team replacement, and we need someone to support Phillips in his role, because it's evident. And maybe Vieira was that player. You know, Bielsa said like he didn't say, yeah, go ahead and sell him. It was more a business decision. So was Vieira that player that was, you know, going to alternate with Phillips in the two in every position? And Bielsa's come out and said that fact that he doesn't have a ready-made replacement for Phillips. So that's for me where we need to strengthen. It's a long way off yet, you know, we're not even in October, but I just wanted to say that based on what I'd heard in some of the podcasts. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Again, I'm not attacking anyone. I'm just saying in terms of where we need to strengthen, that's what we need to do. And it's come to light really that Phillips doesn't have a replacement for him. You might disagree, but based on what Bielsa's saying about Forshaw, Crick, they're the one, you know, there's no ready-made replacement for Phillips there. So yeah, I think Bielsa's, you know, he's done a lot of. Sorry, I'm just changing my pages there. I made some notes, so I'm not repeating myself. I think Bielsa's done a decent job this week of protecting the players. I think Alioski had said in his press conference, you know, he may be doing that. You know, we're grateful, we're surprised he said that in his presser. Maybe it's not 100% true. So you know, I like that though. It's like I said to you, I see it very much like how Pep and his team are working at City. Take a look at that documentary and you'll get what I mean. But yeah, so Alioski, just to touch on what Alioski says, you know, he was questioned about his performance, and he said, look, I give it 100% every time. I'm in a new position, I don't play there, don't normally play on that side, which surprises me because I thought he played wing back for Macedonia, and he played on that position before, unless he's been asked to do a different type of role. But I always seen Alioski as a left winger. But there you go. He knows better than us. So yeah, he said, you know, some decisions he can make, some decisions better. 100% you can make. Learn the fecking offside rule. Do you know what I mean? It's getting so frustrating. And if, let's say there's a game tight, right? Like, and it's 0-0 and we're through and he goes offside. Like, honestly, I don't know how. Some fans are going to start to turn. Listen, I'm never going to abuse the guy, but I think when he's strolling offside, there was a lot of hatred. Not hatred, wrong word, sorry. There was a lot of vitriol thrown at him after he was offside on that free kick on Saturday. He needs to sort that side of his game out. Not only that, you know, it could rub off on Doug. People might stop playing the ball. Genuinely, these sort of things have to enter your mind, you know. People miss players out. It happens. I mean, look what Bowyer and Dyer, Kieran Dyer and Bowyer, when he was missing him out and they ended up scrapping. These sort of things do happen in football, where he would say, I'm not passing you, mate. You can't finish. I'm going to look for somewhere else, when really that was the easier ball. And does it get to a stage where Douglas, and he is onside, and he's like, nah, you're not getting it. I'm passing it somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? These sort of things can happen. Maybe I'm reading into it a little bit too much, but they can happen. But yeah, he did say, you know, and I've touched on it earlier on, he said, under Bielsa, they're 100% confident that we won't go on a losing streak. I'm confident, they're confident, Bielsa's confident, we're all confident. Let's go smash Wednesday on Friday night. Everyone be safe, have a mint day, try not to go wild, but, you know, Friday night, it's Sky's fault. Putting it on a Friday night, it's the Football League's fault. I think it's a crazy decision, but there it is. I'm buzzing for it, because tomorrow, you know what I mean, I'm at work, finish at 6, home, watch the game, and then I can just, like I say, if we get off to a win, then the pressure's on the rest. I know it's still early doors, but it's the pressure's on the rest, you know what I mean? So, and a lot of them have played midweek as well, you know. Derby had that great result against the Scum, well done Derby, and, you know, Borough played, Preston played, so there's a lot of teams that played as well. I'm not sure if Sheffield Wednesday played, correct me, tell me if they did, because if they did, again, that's good news for us. But yeah, like I said, confidence from Bielsa, the team, me, you. Let's smash this, have a mint day, and come on Leeds. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.